Welcome to Adds Power. Today we're going to do an oil change on Dara, the Project A2, and I'll give you an update on what's been going on with this car. So it's been stood for a week. We're going to see if this thing will start, and we'll get on with it. Okay, so what's been going on with this A2? Well, biggest thing is it's had its cam belt. The guys down at One Automotive done a great job. I'm going to turn it off actually, it's so loud. Look at that. New auxiliary belt, I'll put that on. Let's turn this thing off because she's quite noisy. So she had a new cam belt at One Automotive. Really great outfit down in Staffordshire. These guys know their A2s. The place is just absolutely full of them. I'm fully paid up. Didn't take any promotional payment for that, so don't worry guys. But no, a really good outfit. They did a great job, and the thing's running really well. So latest thing I've done, I put this new belt on. I'll just find the old one. If I can find the old one, here it is. So here's the old one. Look at that, how split it was. So that was on the car before. Shouldn't be like that. Should just be one solid sort of kind of run, and you can see it's got all the VW. I think this was original, 2004. So there you go. But a right game to do. This tensioner here, I ended up, there's a special tool for these, and the idea is you move the tensioner back that way. There's a bolt down on the side of it, and you twist it back with like a wrench, and that gives you enough slack to take the belt off. But oh, what a fight it was. Only had sort of a normal ratchet spanner, and you can't get any leverage because there's all this pipework in the way. So I took this air inlet pipe off, and I actually put a set of mole grips on the spanner so I could kind of lever it like this, and that levered it just enough. I couldn't get the thing back. There's a hole here to line up with this, and the idea is you lever it back and put a pin through. So that's kind of held there, and then you can take the belt off. But I just couldn't do it. So in the end, I levered it back, got the belt on the bottom, and then just literally pushed it over the edge. Made sure my fingers are well clear, but a real fight. But you can see the bonnet's off. I noticed this. There's a little like anti-vibration mount here. This inlet pipe sits on the engine, but there's no bolt, so can't find a bolt in my stash, so I've just put a cable tie on it for now to stop this thing shaking loose. But otherwise it's fairly clean, it's not bad. So I'll do a good clean up on it. I'm just going to do an oil change today, but I think what I might do when I've got more time is do a proper clean of the engine bay up, which will make it look really nice. Something else I've done, so I took this wiper off. The blade was sitting sort of here. It was just resting there. It was off the screen, which just isn't right. You know, it was sort of bashing into the bonnet. So I just popped this off. And there's you can just, in theory, take the wiper off the shaft and sort of nudge it over one. It's a spline shaft, but you know, as you can imagine, it was rusted on there. So in the end, what I did was I took this off, put some penetrant fluid on it, and there was a guy on YouTube who did this, but you just tap the shaft under this pad with a hammer, just tap it, and that shock just freed off the wiper from the shaft. But you know, I wasn't happy given, you know, there's glass here, the shock could have cracked the screen, but just sort of taps like this and it came off. Then I was just able to increment it over, so it now sits properly, and it doesn't go too far up here, so it's perfect really. So that's the mechanical stuff. As you saw before, both discs are done. Unfortunately, one of the calipers is still seizing, this caliper here. So I bought a new caliper for it, and you can see how discoloured that disc has gone. So I bought a new caliper, 30 quid off eBay. So I'm going to get that fitted next weekend. On the inside, so fitted a new gear gaiter. So this was a 7 quid job off eBay, but it looks really nice. You know, the leather's nice quality. You know, sits nicely in the car. It looks original. This pops off. This plastic ring. You just pop it off. It's a snap fit, and there's like an inner ring inside. So you can just see where my finger is. That's the inner ring, and the leather pushes between the inner ring, which snaps into the outer ring. And I've not actually, on the original it was stapled into the the inner, but I just couldn't, I haven't got a staple gun strong enough, so I just literally with a screwdriver, a really fine screwdriver, just pushed the leather in between the two, and it's held in there firmly, it's not coming out. But a real game, fiddly job. The lever itself, you can, there's like a sort of plastic kind of fitting, it goes over the shaft. There was a sort of metal clip which I just prized off, and I've just cable tied it back on, so it's sort of held on in place. So, you know, a fiddly job, but it looks nice, and for £7 you can't moan. The guys at WOM Automotive sorted me out with a new trim panel here. It's the old one. You can see this clip, it's snapped off. So that's what it should look like. This is what it does look like. So it just snapped off. So it's just loose. So they really kindly gave me one of those. Fits in really nice. It's not shaking about. So you can put your phone in there or something. It's got a new handbrake. Oh, excuse me, the old mic's fallen off. Quality adds power filming here. Put it back on. So handbrakes, it's got a new handbrake handle, leather one. It's just literally pushes on. Now smoothly the other day, if I can find it, I snapped the button off. So that's the button there, and I managed to snap it off. Marvellous. So I did that whilst trying to release the handbrake from outside the car, so I won't do that again. So I've got a new button on the way. Again, thank you to the guys at WOM. And it's a bit of a scruffy second-hand one, but I'll just sand it back and just spray it up. You know, it's only plastic, so the one which came off the car isn't perfect, so it won't look too bad. So that's the extent of the interior, but it's getting there. Obviously it's waiting, it's clean. I can't wait to do the clean. I've bought tons of sort of kind of fabric cleaners, all sorts of things ready for the clean. So but at the moment I just want it drivable. So you know, the key next job's really get the oil done, change the caliper. I'm going to change the brake fluid. You know, I've got a pressure bleeder, so that should be a very simple job. And then I can start using it, because at the moment I'm like, I don't want to drive it with a seasoned caliper. So those are the sort of two jobs I want to do really. So today I'm going to do the oil. Oh, one final thing. I bought some new gas struts. So you can see this boot just falls down. So the gas struts are original, I think. So I bought some cheapies off eBay. So I'll fit those, and I'll let you know how it goes. Here they are down here. So okay, they're not your quality stabless item, but you know, 13 quid. It's not a new car, and you know, if they last 5-6 years, that's better. You know, you could have 2 sets of them for some originals. So I'll fit those. I've got some new bulbs for the rear lights because they're a bit faded. But otherwise, it'll be ready to go then. It'll be ready to use, and I can sort of clean it up at my leisure. And then finally, got some new number plates because this one, that's going to be an MOT fail. So some new number plates, which I'll fit. So that's the extent of the A2 the last few weeks. But today, let's get on with the oil change. Right, so under tray's off. Let's have a look at that. So you're looking live. First time I've looked under this car as well. So subframe looks in good order. So you see here, one of the wishbones has been done. So the guys at WOM noticed the wishbone was really corroded. So this is one of the cast wishbones the earlier cars had. Much better quality. You can see it's got a new tie rod, anti-roll tie rod as well. But yeah, doesn't look too bad. Bit of oil leaking somewhere. Let's get this toolbox out of the way. Top tip, put all the screws in one place when you're doing this, because they just go walkies. So this is the wishbone, the original wishbone. You can see that's looking a bit crusty, so I think I'm going to wire brush that and just put a little bit of hammerite on that just to see it through the winter. So that looks a little bit unhappy, but otherwise, I mean, look how clean these cars are underneath. I mean, rust just isn't a problem with them. It's fantastic. So let's try and find the sump plug. So you can see, yeah, there's a good old leak coming from the back of the engine. I'd probably say the sump gasket's leaking somewhere. That's already a sump bolt. Looks nice and new. But yeah, it doesn't look too bad really, does it? It looks quite tidy. This is your radiator. So I'm going to I'll pop the bottom hose off eventually and do a oil change. I think that's your power steering over there. So I'm going to redo that reservoir at some point. It's your washer fluid by the looks of it. This is your air filter box. I'm going to do the air filter while I'm here. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad, does it? I'm very happy with this subframe, that's nice. It's tidy. Right, let's get on with it, guys. Okay, so the oil change is done. And it got a bit grim, actually, guys. It got dark, it was cold, it was wet, so I had to really just leave it in terms of filming. I just had to get the job done. Wasn't too bad. Quite slow in terms of filling up this oil filler. It's really shallow, so you've got to fill it really slowly, but I've got an OEM dipstick, so I know I've got the right level in it. Wasn't too hard, went in fairly well, so I'm just letting the car warm up. This is the week later, so it's quite cold. So whilst I was doing it, I changed the air filter. Really simple job. You just undo 2 screws and it basically falls out. But look at the state of that. That's what came out of the car. So that hasn't been done in a long time. Really simple job. So that can go in the bin. goodbye. So, so the car's warming up. I've changed the bulbs, so, you know, for like a few quid off in Halfords. I just thought, let's just buy new lights. So, new tail light bulbs, nice and bright. And I put new front side light bulbs in as well, nice and bright. Because the other ones were just getting dim and didn't look very nice. Quite an easy job to do. It's actually easy just to pop the headlight off. There's just a bolt there and a bolt there, and it just pulls out, and then you can just take the bulbs out. So, you know, that's what I did. Other stuff. So it's got a new handbrake button. So this was a bit of a pain. I'll just pull this off. So this is loose, this handbrake handle, but it shouldn't do that, but it does. And there's just a little tab in there. Little tab in there, each side. There's one on that side. You just put a screwdriver in, a flat blade screwdriver, and then you can just pull the button off. Now this is actually aluminium, so I used to have a plastic button on here. Oh dear, what have I done? Oh dear, if I'm ruining my handbrake handle. Can you see there, that's aluminium pressed over the plastic. So it was a bit scruffy, so I just got some 2,500 grit sandpaper and just sanded it down. It's come out pretty well, that. So I'm quite happy with that. So it looks quite nice. So thank you to the guys at WOM for finding that. But yeah, that looks nice. So yeah, I think what we're going to do next is bleed the brakes. I'll do a video on that. And she's ready. Then she's ready for a drive. I can't wait. I literally can't wait. So we're going to go out for a drive in it this weekend. Just finally, I put some new gas struts in. Look at that. So I've just cut to a little clip on that. Just going to show you a little simple job. I want to change these gas struts because the boot lid you saw in a previous video, the thing was just sagging down. So just going to do a really nice little simple job, get rid of these gas struts. So excuse the light, it is night, but you've got to do these jobs when you can. So all you do, there's a little clip. I've just got a flat bladed screwdriver here. And this clip just sits over a ball joint. So prise it away, like that. I'll remove this torch, because obviously being aluminium, magnetic stuff doesn't stick to it. So the idea is, just put it away. The idea is, me saying that, I'm just going to put another glove on. Excuse my lowered voice, but being night, there's people sleeping in the house. But you may do when you're a father and you've only got night time to work on cars. Come on. There we go. So you see that? Boot lid obviously dropped down. Absolutely marvellous. But out my shoulder at the ready. I'll try and put this in my mouth. There you go. There we go. So it's off, so you can see just a little ball joint. I'm going to clean it up, just put a tiny bit of general purpose grease on it. Clip the new struts on there, and we're away. So you will have now seen that clip, but look. Brilliant. 13 quid GPs off eBay. There's nothing wrong with them. And okay, they might not last as long as the OEM, but it's a 16-year-old car. You know, you're not going to be forking out for, you know, brand new OEM gas struts, and these do the job. So yeah, she's cooking. Listen to this. Oh, that sounds quite throaty. think it might have an air induction leak somewhere, so I wanted to look at that. But I'm happy with that, guys. So I'll round that off there, and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Cheers.